I had to play the voice. I had to play the audio. I had to play the clips. I apologize. Welcome back to the Lurie Daniel Favors Show here on SiriusXM's Urban View, where talk empowers and becomes action. Unfortunately, the Urban View audience just had to sit through several clips from the TrumpsterFire press conference that took place yesterday. And again, we are not going to be dissecting all the words of that man once he assumes office. But the TrumpsterFire conference that we saw yesterday was significant for a few key reasons. Number one, did y'all vote to go to war with Denmark so that we could seize Greenland? I said we like I'm an equal American here. So Americans could seize Greenland. Was that the plan? Is that going to lower the prices for eggs and groceries and gas? It's weird. Did y'all, when y'all voted for 47, did you know that he was planning to go to war with Panama and like South America so that he could seize the Panama Canal? And I don't know if he needs Greenland because he says that he needs it for economic security, national security. And I'm like, well, that's so interesting because it just so happens that elongated muskrat also wants Greenland, not for national security because he's not actually an elected president, but elongated muskrat wants Greenland because Greenland's got materials. And I'm not talking about just the beauty of Greenland, which Donald Trump's son was there yesterday. So as Donald Trump is doing the TrumpsterFire press conference, his son is getting off a plane in Greenland, taking selfies, really sowing seeds of here we come. Here come the Americans. The empire is on the move. But we should also know that Greenland has a lot of materials that elongated muskrat needs. Now, I don't know if elongated muskrat getting access to those materials. Oh, I'm on YouTube. Sorry. I forgot to mention that. Sorry, I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube Live. Sorry about that. I don't know if elongated muskrat is clear about how him getting access to those materials so that his spaceships can fly and do all the things that he wants them to do. I don't know if he has really considered how that might, I don't know, make schools better, or how that might, I don't know, help the homeless population, or how that might help with environmental injustices. Shout out again to Los Angeles, which is navigating this fire. But essentially, Donald Trump and elongated muskrat are essentially saying that they're going to go to war with Denmark so that they can seize Greenland, with the Panama Canal, because they say that it's America's and not China's. And I'm wondering, is it really about national pride, Donald Trump, or is it more about the fact that the Panama Canal has had to raise prices for ships that are going through? So the profits to the billionaire owners of the products that have to be trafficked through the Panama Canal are complaining. There are a lot of things that could, maybe it's economic security, and that's what they mean. Maybe it's national security, and that's what they mean. What I do know is that neither seizing the Panama Canal nor invading Greenland and going to war with Denmark, which I believe is a member of NATO. And because Denmark is a member of NATO, that would also mean that if you go to war, it literally would trigger World War III, because if any NATO member is attacked, the rest of NATO has, by obligation and by treaty, has to then also support the group that's being attacked, the NATO member that's being attacked. So would that mean all of NATO against the United States? Are we literally? And we got to ask these questions because the man is going to have the nuclear codes. And he's full on excited about the tariffs. We're going to talk about that because Argentina is sending us a message from the ghost of Christmas future, because what's essentially going to happen in this country is what Argentina is navigating right now. But I also want to mention the fact that Zuckerberg got zucked. I learned that word this morning from Urban View Mornings with Dr. Greg Carr, Lamont King, as I mentioned just a moment ago. And as I said, I think the new Facebook motto, now that Zuckerberg is like, Facebook has just had too much over-indexing on censorship, and we started censoring things after the 2020 election, and he goes on and on and on talking about how they overreached. And they too many people had their accounts frozen for things that weren't really offensive. But because of that, he's going to move from California, which apparently is where people are very concerned and very biased, to Texas, where people are not very concerned and not very biased. And I'm like, is it that the people in Texas are less biased, or is it that because that's where elongated muskrat is at, along with a number of other right-wing folks who are essentially trying to remake Texas into, as I heard this morning, the Wild Wild West again? So it could be that, or it could also be that, when Donald Trump threatened Zuckerberg a few months ago by saying if Facebook played any role in the outcome of the election by like letting people communicate about the election and stopping misinformation, that Zuckerberg would spend the rest of his life in jail. Maybe that's why Mark Zuckerberg got zucked. Or it could be that Mark Zuckerberg is sucking up to Donald Trump because there is an FTC antitrust case against Meta that the court ruled last year, at the end of last year, could actually move forward and go into trial. trial because Meta has been accused of holding an illegal monopoly over social media. And perhaps Zuckerberg believes that they over-indexed on censoring. I'm more inclined to believe that it was the threats to his personal liberty vis-a-vis the president saying that you was going to get you were going to be thrown in jail for the rest of your life, and or the fact that now this antitrust lawsuit is moving forward. Shout out to the Department of Justice, the Antitrust Division, where I interned many years ago before I even went to law school. I shouldn't even call it an internship. That was a whole ass job. Shout out to the whole ass jobs, but it could be any of these things. And so what's important about this, and the reason why I wanted to focus on this, this particular TrumpsterFire of a press conference, is because this is a really good example of saying a thing over here while doing a thing over there. Saying a thing over here, doing a thing over there. We need Greenland because it's beautiful and the people there would probably want to be a part of the United States. That's saying a thing over here, but the thing you're doing over there is elongated muskrat and friends are allegedly planning to take all of the minerals out of the ground of Greenland, utterly destroying the beauty of Greenland right now so that they can have the nice shiny devices that they love. Say a thing here, do a thing there. So yeah, we could get caught up in the fact that Mark Zuckerberg is no longer going to have fact checkers, and he's going to instead have people just community notes check things, which means that in addition to appeasing Donald Trump, he's also going to get even more of you folks who are actively using Facebook to engage in battles on Facebook about what's true, what's not true. And because there's no independent fact checker who's there, no third-party fact checker who is a disinterested member of that conversation, what it's also going to do is have a whole bunch of people on Facebook going to Facebook to flood the zone on how they think what is posted is correct or is not correct, which does what? Increase usership on Facebook. I feel like their new motto, again, should be come for the fun and stay for the dumb. But all of that is not what I really want to focus on before we get ready to go to commercial break. What I really want to focus on is this breakdown on what's happening in Argentina. Now, you might be thinking, what in the world is happening in Argentina, considering we were talking about all this stuff that Donald Trump is doing or planning to do? Well, Argentina is like many years ahead of where America will be when it comes to tariffs. As you may recall, Donald Trump's financial economic plan is to cause you all of us to pay more money because of tariffs. And Donald Trump has said, well, we're going to implement tariffs because that's going to bring manufacturing back to the United States and drive prices down. There is no credible economists even agree that this is a thing. They do not agree that this is a thing because tariffs are taxes that, yes, are technically imposed on countries, but the tariffs are paid by the people who purchase the goods that are imported into the nation. Argentina tried this. As I read from the Financial Times. Javier Milei, who is the president of Argentina, has begun wrenching open Argentina's protectionist economy, slashing tariffs in a bid to beat down high prices from everything from apparel to electronics. They give examples. A Black & Decker air fryer in Argentina sells for $289, $100 here. Because of what? Tariffs. They give other examples. A Zara slip dress that costs $25 in the United States sells for $67 in Argentina. An Apple iPhone 15 in the United States, $799 in the United States, $799, and in Argentina costs $2,800, while the average salary for Argentinians is less than a quarter of the United States average salary. So they implemented tariffs. They did everything that Donald Trump says he's going to do, and it has destroyed their economy. They are aiming to lower consumer prices and to speed the decline of Argentina's triple-digit annual inflation. Didn't y'all vote for him because the inflation? But his economic policies are going to drive up inflation, and he's going to war, which is very, very, very expensive. This is your man's. This is Fivefold Find Out 2025 edition. They also talk about the fact that the president says we are lowering tariffs that underpin the disastrous scheme to replace imports with domestic production. It has punished the whole of society with goods and services of worse quality at a higher price for the benefit of a privileged few. What they're essentially saying there is that because we are in an environment where once you drive up tariffs with the goal of, and I'm putting that in air quotes because it's fictional, with the goal of bringing home production, it is more expensive to produce things here because our billionaires and corporate owners are essentially here to maximize profits. Things cost more to build here. That's why they offshore these things and they export manufacturing because it's cheaper to build things there. Saying all that to say, if you want to know what America's going to look like in the next couple of years, look at Argentina. Pay attention to the TrumpsterFire. Don't pay attention to the shiny little things that they're dangling in front of you. Pay attention to the things over here. that you're not quite supposed to look at, and you won't look at because you'll be too busy going to Facebook for the fun and staying for the dumb and engaging in mindless battles with people who have not read anything outside of algorithmically driven research and information. That's your morning update on the world news and how we are entering 2025. We are going to head to commercial break. Much more to come on the Lurie Daniel Favors Show. We'll be right back after this.